And this is going to be a little bit of an abbreviated tour, and we're just going to cover a few different things, and I hope it's incredibly informative for you. I know I love the 6 Weeks to Success. So the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between necessities and niceties. Now, necessities are just what you have to have, and the good news is that the necessities all come in your business kit. So the clothing, it's all about the clothes. We're a home party business, and we absolutely thrive on that one-on-one connection and that shopping experience that you ladies are so great at providing. All the successful stylists, if you ask, will agree, touching and trying on the clothing boosts sales. Once you get those clothes on one body, it goes crazy and the sales go up. So the clothes are your biggest necessity. Lookbooks and order forms. Again, these are included in your business kits for this reason. They are absolute necessities. Use them. Do not hand them out unless you get her contact info. So I love Lisa Connors talks about having a Post-it note on each lookbook. And then as you handle the lookbook, say, let's exchange information so that we can connect. That way you're not just handing out a lookbook that will eventually get thrown away. You have her contact information, and you're going to be able to follow up with her. Order forms are fantastic to take notes on. I hate cold calls. When you write things down about her life and then refer to them when you call, it's not a cold call. You're just connecting with her. You're asking her and asking her about her life. You're chatting with her. You're just having a conversation. You're also going to have a permanent record on hand of what she ordered in the past so that you can refer to that when a new line comes out or a new piece is released. You can call her and say, hey, I know you love that bodycon skirt in black. We have it in this gorgeous cranberry now. You've got to come check it out. Now, you can also, it's not a necessity, but it's easy. You can customize your website with your own personal profile pic. You go to your extranet, to your profile, and then you can edit your profile and add your profile picture. It just customizes it. When people do go to your website, they can look and see your bright, beautiful face, and they'll know that they're in the right place. So at the home parties, it's great to have, and I hated it when I would forget this, but a place to put payments, cash and checks, just to keep them organized, safe, and in one consolidated spot. This can be just a simple envelope, or it can be like a cute little cash box you make or that you have on hand. You're going to want to have at your home parties a paper, calendar, or planner. You're going to have it out at ordering time, and you're going to include everything in your life on it so that they see how busy you are. They see how valuable your time is, and they see how that they do need to book a party with you before your life fills up even more than it already has. You're going to want a calculator. Now, I know a lot of people like using their cell phones, and it can work great. If it works for you, fine. I like doing selfies with my guests, with my hosts, posting them on Facebook, letting people see how much fun we're having. I like to add people's contact info as we go if I have a little lull. I like to friend people on Facebook right then and there, so I like having a calculator separate from my cell phone. Voicemail. It's not a huge necessity, but it's so easy. I'm including it at the end of the necessity portion. Does your personal outgoing cell phone or phone message, does it say, hi, you've reached Tiff, leave a message? Or does it say, hi, you've reached Tiff Mulligan, independent stylist at Winnie Kat. Sorry I missed your call, ... Make sure that your outgoing message reflects your business because you're now a business person and you want to let everyone know about this fantastic company you're a part of. Now, those are the necessities. These are the niceties. These are nice to have, but you don't have to have them for your first party. Just get that first practice party on the books and going. Now, many of these are going to move to necessity once your business is established and you're comfortable and you're ready to add them. But again, you don't have to have them for your first practice party. Wish lists. You can print them out and order them through resources and then business supplies. You'll look for that Vistaprint link. You can order them through Vistaprint, or you can just download them and print them out on your own printer. Business cards. They're great to have an exchange for that contact info. Again, always ask, can we exchange information instead of, can I hand you a business card? So there's always that exchange, and you walk away with contact information. Make sure, while we're talking about this, make sure that you do run out of business cards. If you ordered business cards 6 months ago and you still got them, You're not handing enough of them out. So make sure you're running out of them. Also, don't wait until you have business cards to host your first party. No one in the history of direct sales has ever not purchased something because someone didn't have a business card. You can always write your information on a piece of paper, write it in the catalog or lookbook that you're going to hand out in exchange for information. But business cards are great to have. And again, these are going to move to the necessity column once you get going. Racks. It's not the end of the world if you don't have them for your practice party. I actually did a party where I forgot my racks. My day was crazy, and I forgot them. I hung them from her curtain rods. She had a cute little, a coat rack that I just grabbed. I asked her if it was okay. I hung clothes on it. It was actually kind of cool. It was cute. And the most important thing for me was to get them on bodies anyways. I was like, I ran out of room. Can you put this on so people can see it? So racks are awesome. But don't go crazy with it. Don't worry about it if you don't have it right away. If your upline is in the area, ask if you can borrow hers. Now, when you do go to get racks, keep them simple. Target has them for like $12 or $14. Get the cheaper ones. Remember, you're training your downline from your first touch. So when that stranger walks in the door and she looks at the racks and she goes, how much were those? She's thinking, can I do this business? Her wheels are already turning, and you don't want to say, oh, I have 2 racks that I spent $50 each on, because then she's going to start adding this up in her head. You want to be able to say, oh, they were $12 each. I got them at Target. They're awesome. I love them. So keep it simple. And also you can brag about how cheap they were. Now, clipboards, again, they're nice to have. Don't spend a ton of money on them. We're training your downline at the first contact, and you want to make money. So make sure you're not spending money on all these niceties and necessities. Although when you do spend money, make sure you keep your receipts, because the greatest part about being your own boss is that a lot of this translates to write-offs. So talk to your CPA about that. Now, my clipboards were actually, they were just cardboard boxes that I put contact paper over, and then I had those metal clip things that I put on the top to attach everything to. They were really cute. People talked about them. We talked about how great they were, and then I was able to share a sliced bread story where I said, yeah, the greatest part about this business is that I don't have to spend a ton of money, and I can really control the amount of money coming into my account, and then kind of open it up that way. So clipboards, nice to have. You'll love them once you have them, but again, not a necessity. A mobile office, we're going to cover this in a bit. It's just something to keep things organized in one place while you're out and about. You're going to get compliments on your clothes. You're going to look amazing. People are going to tell you about that. And it's going to help you get their contact information and give them the information that you want them to have. Now, this is another one. It's going to move to necessity once you get going. A Facebook page. Social media is so secondary. Make it easy, uncomplicated, and don't depend on it to promote your business. Really, 80% of social media is just to get engagement on your page. It's just to get people talking and having fun. And then when they go to your page, they can go, hey, what is this Winnie and Kat thing? They go to your website. Again, as much as I love Facebook, it's not my priority. My priority is face-to-face or phone conversations. I love that connection. Email. You can have a separate business email. It can keep things much more uncomplicated. It keeps your business separate from your personal emails. I don't know about you, but I belong to about 1 million lists, and I have like 3,000 emails in my email folder or my personal email file at home. So a business email will keep things from getting lost in the masses. You want to keep that address simple and memorable. You don't want to have, some long, drawn-out, complicated email address. Keep it very simple so they know exactly what it is. On this line, a separate checking account. This can really simplify taxes. It's also a really great way of knowing exactly how much money you're making, because the money for the business going in and out is in the same account. You're going to also want to have some sort of filing system to keep track of your business and your expenses and stuff. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. You can also pay yourself through that account or save it for a rainy day. So it might, or that rainy day might be a sunny one in some tropical locale that you've saved for. It's a really great way to save and know how much you're making. So gardening gifts, again, a nicety, not a necessity. I walked around everywhere I went. I have a big tote I had coloring books for little kids with a couple of crayons or a little crayon box taped to the outside with my business information on it on a sticker. When I would walk through the mall or through a grocery store and I'd see someone having a little bit of trouble with their little one who doesn't in the grocery store, I would hand them a coloring book and I'd say, hey, you know, I work for this wonderful company, Winnie Kat, and part of how I share my opportunity is I would love to share this coloring book with your son or daughter, and I see she's having a tough time. I'm a mom too, I get it, and I would hand them a coloring book with my information on it. Most everyone was so happy to have it. Hand it to mom, and she'll hand it to the kid, and the kid will be very happy with that. Also, I would have business cards. I put little Hershey's Kisses on them, and if someone was walking around that looked amazing, I would, you know, strike up a conversation with her. I'd say, hey, I belong to this fabulous company called Winnie Kat. You know, can I give you my information, or can we exchange information? Here's a business card, and she'd have a sweet little treat on it for her. Now, luxuries. Don't get caught up in the luxuries. They can look really cool, but they can also be really distracting, and sometimes they can be intimidating for people who want to join your team. If you have a mannequin, awesome. It can make the clothes look great. If someone asks, how much did that cost? Again, she's thinking about, can I do this? So keep it simple. You don't want to have anything distracting. Sometimes I've seen amazing mannequins that are like so cool, but what those stylists get is, hey, where'd you get the mannequin? That's really cool. The focus needs to be on the clothes. So find something simple, find something that's very affordable for you that will add to your business and not just take from your profit. The fancy schmancy racks, they have some really nice chrome ones. If you have them in your house, great, use those. But if not, don't worry about it. Some of our best power sellers have those cheap little white ones from Target that were $14. The racks, no one will ever not buy clothes because your racks aren't expensive. Car magnets. I have actually added someone on my team because I had a car magnet. They saw it on my car, and then I always had all of my stuff in a tote bag, and in that, you know, they saw my car magnet, and then they saw me walking around with a tote bag. So that was a good thing to have, and again, I added someone to my team. Anything else? You could go crazy. You could go Martha Stewart. Don't. Be really duplicatable, leave some room for profit, leave a lot of room for being simple and having fun. So that's the necessities, niceties, and luxuries. Let's talk about gardening. Let's get out there. Now, the most important thing, I love this image of gardening and marketing. You know, gardening is essentially marketing yourself. Gardening is all about planting seeds. We're going to talk about how they're similar. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat this morning. You're going to, first of all, have a plan. A plan is another word for a goal. What is your personal long-term vision for the company? If I wanted to plant veggies, it takes a specific plan. It takes a specific soil, certain light. You have to nurture your specific goal with the appropriate action, just like when you're gardening. You want to have the right tools. If you have the right tools, your job is much easier. You have the clothing, order form, lookbooks, all that stuff. Gather the other things you need so that you're prepared to take action, and then implement your plan so you make it look easy. You're going to prepare your soil. You're going to identify where your market is and then where your week will take you. You want to map out each month by week and figure out where your target environments are going to be. This is where having kids and the chaos that goes with it is awesome, because they're always going to the doctor, dentist, you got PTA meetings. That's gold. It's a new market every time you go, and it's someone that you see enough that you kind of develop a relationship with. Make a plan for your week. The more seeds you plant, the more are going to actually sprout and grow. If you garden, you know that not every seed sprouts. Find a niche for every month or week again. Think about pump stations, dentists, doctors, day spas, anywhere that you go. You can even go to the coffee shop, you know, on Wednesday morning or something. You start seeing the same people wave, hi, how's it going? What are you doing here? You know, I see you every Wednesday. Strike up conversations with people. You're going to use your tools to plant. And just like we said before, you're going to get out there and share the opportunity with everyone. Review your sliced bread stories. I'll post that training again and again and again so that you can see that it's a fabulous way to market yourself. It's a fabulous way to share the opportunity without feeling salesy or whatever. Make sure that they have enough sunshine. Did you give them enough information? Did you follow up with phone calls, maybe coffee visits, emails, any little connections, texts that you can contact them with? And of course, you're going to add water, follow-up calls, and contacts. There's always going to be little volunteers. If you garden, little volunteers, or those random seeds that you don't remember planting and all of a sudden they just kind of sprouted up on their own. Those are going to happen. But you want to nurture the seeds and focus on the planted seeds, make sure they're getting watered enough. Now, this is one that I love because a lot of times when we give out a lead, people say, well, I called her 3 times and she hasn't called me back. When you grow a garden from seeds, it takes forever for them to peek out of the ground, that tiny little leaf. It takes longer still for it to grow into a plant that blooms, and sometimes it feels like an absolute eternity for the plant to be productive at all. And then it starts to grow, whatever vegetable, and then the vegetable has to grow. Time taken to plant and water, it's going to be wasted if we stop watering and give up. I don't water my plants for 3 weeks and then stop. I got to keep it up. Nurture what you plant. Make sure you're not allowing yourself to get frustrated if you're not seeing the results you want yet. You're going to keep that timeline in perspective, this 90-day timeline, and give it time. Wait for the green light questions and wait for them to contact you back. Sometimes I've had women from the home office that it's been months and months and months, and I just keep sending emails, I keep making phone calls, and finally they'll say, I'm so glad you didn't give up on me. Such and such and such and such happened in my life, and it just wasn't the right time, so thank you for keeping up with me. We're also going to talk about reaping what you sow. If you want flowers, you're going to plant flowers. If you want recruits, you're going to plant that seed. If you want sales, you're going to plant that. You want hostesses, you know what to do, right? Share those sliced bread stories. And I wouldn't just plant one veggie or one flower. I wouldn't just share the opportunity with one person. Balance your business. So you're sharing the opportunities, plural, with a bunch of different people, with everyone you see. You want to be practiced so that you're well-spoken. You want to be really excited about what you offer because this is a fantastic opportunity. And you want to practice your stories. Keep your materials really neat. You want to be not only who you would want to have in your house as a presenter, but who you would want to work with and be around. So here we go. Ready, set, go. Soliciting. If you're walking around soliciting, that's when you're expecting to make a sale. You're walking in specifically to sell something. We're not soliciting when you're going out gardening. You're creating awareness of your business. And remember, if you're not booked as much as you would like, it's just because not enough people know about you. You need to widen that net. So when you walk into an office or a new environment, you're going to start with a smile. You're going to walk in the door and be the happiest, nicest person in that office. You're going to visualize, you want to really visualize people being happy to hear about the opportunities. As you're practicing, visualize someone listening to you with a smile. She's excited to hear about this. You can start and say something like, hi, I'm Susie McSales, and I'm a local Winnie Kat stylist. I'm just expanding my business in this area, and I'm hoping it would be all right for me to leave some information on who we are and what we do, and I even brought some goodies for you to share. Don't expect to make the sale then and there. You're just leaving lobby baskets with maybe those coloring books, with lookbooks, with your information on them, and any kind of gardening materials. And that can be a really fun way to get your name out there. Now, as far as watering your garden, follow-up is the key to maximizing your gardening experience. Make sure you follow up within 3 to 4 days of your initial planting. You're thinking of building relationships. It's all about return on relationship. Now, these are some stats that I heard that are pretty profound. 48% of sales people never follow up, ever. They give out their information, they get all that courage up, they go out, and then they don't follow up. 25% of salespeople only make the second contact. 12% stop at 3, 10% make more than 3 contacts. Now, here's the flip side of that. 2% of sales, or 2% of recruits, come from the first contact. Only 3% are made on the second, 5% of recruits come from the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80% happen between contact number 5 and 10. You don't water a seed for a week, again, stop and expect anything to grow. You're going to continue to nurture that seed that you've planted. And you want to start promoting your business now. Don't wait. Don't sit at home. The more people you know, the more you grow. Nothing feels worse anyways than hanging out on the couch every day. You want to get out there and meet people, have fun, take your kids to the park, join a hiking group, have coffee at the same coffee shop every day again. That one's really fun, and it's a really great way to earn trust before you even know someone. Just human nature, when they see you there every week, they're going to start learning to see you as a friend before you even are a friend. Smile and wave at people. You can make yourself a moving billboard or make yourself into a moving billboard. Wear the clothing. Duh, right? When someone says something, you can go, you know what, you could feel as great as I do right now, too. Can we exchange information? You want to dress for success every day. Car signs are great. As I said before, tote bags are great. The tote bag that we provide, use it everywhere you go. You can also wear a name tag. People are going to ask about it. I know I always do. I'm like the nosiest person in the world. And if I see someone wearing a name tag, hey, what do you do? They're going to ask you about it. Finally, you're going to go gardening. Hand out at least 5 cards a day to people or exchange information with at least 5 people a day. And when you start with your business, a lot of times we start with our Franks list. And I know even if Frank sounds weird, you know your list. It's all about friends, relatives, your acquaintances, who are people that you kind of know, your neighbors, kids' friends, and your spouse's friends. So Frank's list is a great place to start. People know an average of 250 people. We talk about 100 lists, and sometimes it feels intimidating. You know 250 people, even the guy at the gas station, every time you fill up, who's there. He has a wife, or the lady who's there, she needs clothes. She might even need an opportunity. So start with that Frank's list. Make your phone calls. Make your personal connections. Now we're also going to talk about your mobile office. This is really important to have with you so you're always ready to close that deal. You're always ready to exchange information and to provide people with the information they need to know more about your company. So you want to start with a box of some type that's just going to keep it all together. Again, don't spend a ton of money on this. You might have something in your house already that'll work. You can just do a cardboard box covered in contact paper if you want to make it kind of pretty. Again, just figure out what you already have. It could be just a laundry basket, something to keep it all together. You want to have your prospect packets. Those include your Become a Stylist flyer, lookbook, stylist agreement, business builder graphic, and your Fresh Start graphic. Have those all together with a business card in them. A hostess opportunity packet. You want your Become a Hostess flyer, your order forms, lookbooks, wish list, and a memory jogger. That's all available under Getting Started and Stylist 101. Again, you want to have your business cards. You want to make sure you're running out of business cards because you're exchanging information with so many people. You want to have your calendar there that's loaded with all your information, all your upcoming parties, whatever, soccer games with your kids so that they see how busy and valuable your time is. You want to have your pens, Post-it notes, and highlighters. Remember, keep Post-it notes on your lookbooks so that you can exchange that information. You can take her information down. On that note, you want to have your lookbooks. Always have a bunch with you. Order forms in case she loves what you're wearing so much that she can't stand to not have it. And also have extra samples from last season. I like to have something in, one of the largest sizes that I have, so just about anyone can wear it. Like one of the wrap shawls are great because, especially in the XXL, anyone can feel how amazing the fabric is. Everyone can put it on, and we all know it feels incredibly yummy to put that on. So that's basically your mobile office. Again, keep it simple. Go into it like once a week. Make sure it's refreshed. I know once a month I'll go in and I would make my prospect packets and my hostess opportunity packets. And just the more organized you are, the easier it is to, and the more people are going to want to do business with you. You want to do business with someone who is comfortable, who's confident, and who is organized. So be that person. Finally, homework. This was supposed to be a visual of a little person dancing, and for some reason it turned out to be a just a little square. And I don't know why. Oh, there it goes. So you're going to put together 5 hostess and 5 stylist opportunity packets. This is for next week, or you can do this whenever you can. Organize your necessities and your niceties. so that you can have that. If you haven't done your first practice party, just get it on the books. Also, you want to garden 5 local businesses and celebrate your success. That's the biggest one, and I think a lot of times we forget just being here today, just working your business, being on the call, taking the time out of your day. Celebrate that right now. Acknowledge that it was great that you were here. It was awesome, and you did that for yourself. You did it for your business. And you know what? You did it for your downline, because this is all about simplifying your business, and you're going to coach your downline to a very simple, fun business. Yay! I know. Thank you, Shantae. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I'll post the playback, and that's it. Have fun parties. Have a great week, and let me know how it goes. Always share with me your experiences. You're welcome, Janessa. Thank you for being here, you guys. All right, take care. Have a fabulous weekend.